I think you're gonna like Ratchet Deadlocked. I've been waiting all week to tell you why I think you're gonna like this game. It's a little old, but trust me, that doesn't mean it's bad. I played it a ton as a kid, and it's just it rocks. Now I love the other Ratchet games. They're great. I love their takes on consumerism, corporate greed, and political discourse, and their wacky guns and stuff like that. Like, the Morpho Ray rocks. I love that. And the mini nuke launcher, that's crazy. But Ratchet Deadlock maintains this presence that no other Ratchet game has ever done. We see product focused tests, commercials for trading cards, reality TV, slander towards other news networks that exist in this sci-fi universe. Honestly, I think this game is the reason why I enjoy commercials so much. Like, I just love watching random commercials online. Yeah, you search for a 90s Jack in the Box ad and you're in for a treat. And I love Adult Swim bumpers, like tonight on Dragon Ball Z, or those Peter Cullen bumpers he would do. Like, his voice just works so well to promo all these awesome cartoons. But before we get any further, I'd like to talk to you about this week's sponsor. This video is sponsored by the dishes in your sink. You should go do those. There's plenty in there. And make sure you don't leave any scraps on the plates, because that's going to be hell on your drain. And cockroaches are going to come, and it's going to be a bigger problem. Big thanks to the dishes in your sink for sponsoring this video. And let's get right back into it. But my point is, Ratchet rocks. If you're a newcomer to the Ratchet & Clank series, chances are you haven't heard of this entry, since it's really only playable on the PS2, PS3, and PS Plus streaming. It's like $10 on PSN if you got a PS3, and if you got PS Plus, it's on streaming, so you could play on a 4 and a 5, but be weary of some lag, but don't judge the game for that, right? That's why I think it's kind of better for you to spend the money and get on PS3. You can also just check on eBay for a PS2 copy if you have a PS2. I've been meaning to get a PS2 copy again. Sold to the GameStop when I was really little. Big mistake. Never saw it again. There was this thing that happened a long time ago that I can't find any articles on, but I'm pretty sure Insomniac had some kind of data breach or something. And they lost a ton of information, including the builds for the original games on the PS2. And I don't remember how true that is, because I remember hearing that when I was really young. I'm not sure. However, it does dwindle my hopes for a native PS4, PS5 port. I don't know how PlayStation handles this emulation of PS2 games, or if it requires the original builds, but it does seem similar to how the Vita emulated PSP and PS1 games, with the added features that you can now rewind and add save points, which is really cool and convenient. I'm not a professional programmer. You can still emulate the game on PC though, even at 4K, which is wild. Streaming is definitely the most accessible option for most people these days, but this game is the reason I have 2 PS3s, okay? I mean, I refer to my PS3 as the Ratchet & Clank Entertainment System, because it just has all my favorite Ratchet & Clanks in there. It's the primary reason I turned that system off. Sure, I got Sly Cooper, Jack, and I have Metal Gear 4, which is freaking awesome. But Ratchet & Clank is the main reason why I keep my PlayStation so close to me. It's got a lot of things that I think I really enjoy. Ratchet Deadlock, an insane arsenal of 10 weapons. That's a pretty small number for a Ratchet & Clank game, but I think it's the one with the most utility. I've never felt so enamored with a game's base arsenal until like Doom Eternal. It took that long for a game to like impress me that much with its use cases of its weapons. Doom Eternal kind of has a similar amount of weapons, but it has more permutations with the modding system, which is a system that is also present in Ratchet Deadlock. That quite similar, right? because you're not switching the entire function of the weapon, but you are adding mods like napalm, acid, mini bomb, morph mod, freezing shot, acid. It really changes how the weapon behaves on impact. Like initially, when I first wrote this video, I was going to say that the hollow shield launcher is the most useless weapon in the series. Like, I didn't understand why this game got rid of the shield charger but kept the hollow shield launcher, because it's basically the same weapon as the hollow shield glove from Ratchet 3, but kind of bigger and in a gun form. And after replaying the game in its entirety, it reminded me of its uses during boss fights, specifically during Reactor's and Ace Hardlight's fight. Reactor's quick shot attack is pretty hard to dodge when you're driven into a corner, but the hollow shield grants a good amount of protection from it, and in Ace's boss fight, it completely negates his Seeker missile thingy, whatever it is. There are only two weapons that are really similar to the previous game. The aforementioned hollow shield launcher and the mini turret launcher, which, by the way, if you read the caption, illegally using Megacorp's technology, and there was a litigation regarding the uses of their technology. That's something I love about the Ratchet & Clank games, because they kind of did the lore tab stuff before Destiny did, like 20 years before the game even existed. And it's not the only weapon to have some fun flavor text out of Destiny 2. Each weapon and skin has a great lore tab that you might enjoy reading. You might get a chuckle out of it too. And that's just one reason why I think you might like it. My favorite weapons have got to be the mine launcher and the scorpion flail. The mine launcher is awesome because it goes, and then it goes, and then the scorpion flail is just, it's just so visceral and crazy. On top of the visceral tools of destruction, I think you'd enjoy taking a crack at some of the challenges it has to offer. There's a mode where you gotta kill enemies to gain speed. The more you get, the more speed you build up, and you just start going wild in that mode. You gain so much speed. It ends when you get at 200%. And, if someone, I have no idea how to do this, right? Someone could make a mod for the emulated version where they can just change this mode to being a survival mode instead of a timed mode. Like, please do that. I want to see how high it can go before it crashes the game, before it becomes completely unplayable and you're just being launched into the little laser pools around the arena. And with all the enemies and particle effects going off, the PS3 starts lagging a ton. To a certain degree, that frame drop, when it does that slow-mo, it's more of a feature than a bug. Because it lets you soak in all that carnage while you're playing. Something I've always loved about the Ratchet games is reveling in that chaos. With all the explosions going off, camera shaking, and all the particle effects going. When I was a kid, the particle effects in this game was amazing, right? I mean, they still look great, but when you're a kid and you're on the PS2 and you're just thinking, this is where graphics end. We can't get better than this. This is a movie. And of course I was wrong, obviously. All the explosions and stuff, and it's like, and in the aerial combat sections, that's what makes me want an aerial combat section in Destiny. It is so high octane, and you gotta get creative with how you move to dodge incoming fire. The Ghost Station mission, they really saved the best one for last. I think Ratchet Deadlocked is one of the only two games in its 20 years of the franchise to handle its gameplay variety in such a consistently good way. I mean, there's that one that makes me want to... But the vehicle combat challenges, to the arena challenges and the boss fights, it's one hell of a ride. And, I marathon this game twice in a day just to make this video. I played the whole campaign from 0 to 100, and then I replayed it again on challenge mode on a save that has like on a save that's on challenge mode 8. But like I said, 20 years, this game, but like 20 years later, this game still sucks me in. No game, and I mean for real, no game has been able to grab me this viscerally. I mean, close runner-ups are definitely Transformers Fall of Cybertron and totally Destiny, you know? Since it's been officially 10 years playing that one, I guess I have my own little holy trinity of games. That one save I have on my PS3 that's on challenge mode 8. However, I promise you, me and my brother used to challenge mode speedrun this game every day on the PS2. And we probably got at least challenge mode 50 on a single save slot. When I say I've put more hours into this game than Destiny, I mean it. I mean that for real. And I put a lot of hours into Destiny, dog. I even got the Prima strategy guide for it. Like, I used to have all the strategy guides for all the Ratchet PS2 games, but, you know, Rats ate them. So, thanks, Rats. I've been slowly rebuilding my collection. I got the strategy guides for Deadlock and the first Ratchet game. Now that I'm an adult with money, I can get those things. But, back to it. Other than the gameplay, this game provides a ton of laughs too, from Dallas and Juanita's color commentary.
I suppose since we're all about to perish horribly, I should own up to a few things. First of all, Timmy Aberdeen, I'm the one who set your backpack on fire. I'm sorry you couldn't get it off in time.
To Gleeman Vox, totally not being a Vince McMahon figure.
Do you lose your lunch if you have to watch one more reality dating show? Is your blogs gone wild, video scratched from overuse? Then it's time to turn that dial to something a little more dangerous. Time for some real action. It's time to blow it up! That's right, it's time for Dread Zone, the galaxy's #1 uncensored, unethical, and completely underground combat sport. Blasting straight at you, live from the Battle Dome. And now, on pay-per-view, watch as Ratchet and Clank take on Ace Hardlight and the Exterminators. They save the galaxy 3 times over, but how long can they survive in the zone? Catch it live, right here, on Vox.
Ratchet on the PS2 has always been known for its wild cutscenes. That whole promo they do for Ratchet in this game, like, it feels like Vox is trying to turn John Cena into a heel. This idea of seeing Ratchet as like a 2000 Cena figure makes sense, especially when you put him against Edge. I'm sorry, I mean Ace Hardlight. Like, Ace Hardlight is basically Edge. You can almost hear Metalingus when he gets on screen. You know, he does the hair thing, and he's just always full of attitude. And there's so many parts that make it feel like I'm watching some kind of sci-fi pro wrestling cartoon. You got these gladiator champions you gotta take out called the Exterminators. Reactor, he used to be a math teacher. At least that's what this movie was about. There's fun details about each boss, and you can get some of that background in the gladiator trading cards. You can see their elements, their weaknesses, and a short bio, their special attacks. It adds this level of fourth wall breaking world building that's just really interesting and fun to me. It's all the flavor they add that makes this take on Ratchet & Clank's world so interesting. That's the big reason I loved the story as a kid, because this game came to me when I was like the deepest into wrestling. Like, I had the Chain Gang necklace. I still have it somewhere. You know, that Chain Gang necklace, I would dress up like John Cena and stuff and put the hat on backwards back when he was in the Thugonomics phase. And I mean, I still like wrestling. It's become kind of unfollowable. It's like getting into a comic series and you gotta read the mainline comics, but then to understand this episode you gotta read freaking Destro and Scarlet, which are cool characters, but damn, how many comics do I gotta read to get this timeline understood? This analogy kind of got complicated. It's a hat on a hat. Point is, if you enjoyed early 2000s to 2010s WWE, you might just enjoy the story side of this game a lot. Parallels between the pay-per-view arcs, and this whole game is basically just a Road to WrestleMania arc, but with weapons not fit for this world. Cluster bombs, rockets, automated laser pistols that have a gangster option. Someone at Insomniac deserved a raise for having that idea to hold one of the dual Vipers at an angle, because that's freaking awesome. This game totally kicks ass, and I played it consistently for nearly 20 years. It's a classic, and I think you should give it a shot. This game is good fan service for fans of the big guns, those in it for the laughs, and most importantly, those who just came to have a fun time.
If it's not fun, why bother?
And in the end, it's not what we all want in the game. Just a few minutes of playtime, you know? Ratchet Deadlock clearly isn't focused on being the best game ever. It's not. But Deadlock is definitely doing its best to be your favorite game ever. There's a ton of things to do if you're looking for a replayable game. Challenge mode, as mentioned before, you got skill points that offer unique challenges that reward bolts, experience, and even special unlockables like cheats, exterminator cards, weapons, the Omega weapons, the mods, weapon tuning that I mentioned before. When you collect all the cards, you get the ninja mode. Move faster, I think you jump higher, and it replaces Ratchet's wrench with a sword. You even get customization options for your buddies Merc and Green. There's a lot I want to say about this game, but this isn't a review. I mean, it's one of my favorite stories to ever be told, and its gameplay is top notch, even compared to today's standards. But we're not doing that today. I'm just telling you why you should try this out, why you should give it a chance. Ratchet Deadlock holds a special place in my heart, really does. But rather than tell you what the game feels like, I might as well just show you.
The new armor you're wearing is standard issue for new contestants.
Contestants?
We will explain later. If you do not complete the qualification course in the allotted time, we will all be terminated.
It's it. Let's introduce our first contestant. He's a Lombax. He spent time in prison. He hates candy and children. Let's hear it for Ratchet and Team Darkstar.
Greetings, hero, and welcome to Dread Zone. Rest assured, you are now far beyond the reach of hope. There will be no rescues, no pardons, no possibility of escape. You are now a contestant on the greatest television program that Galaxy has ever known. A celebrity gladiator, battling for the pleasure of a billion screaming fans across the Shadow Sector and beyond. Chances are you'll be dead by tomorrow. But those of you who play the game with skill and strategy will earn a chance to win your freedom. So, good luck, hero.
My little furry man, time to die.
Grand Champion Exterminator, a legend in his own time, Ace Hardlight!
See, just try to keep it interesting while it lasts, would you?
Ratchet Deadlock is kind of like the black sheep of the family. It's the eccentric uncle who kind of sticks out, you know? It's kind of wild that they re-rated this game E10 Plus on the PS3 re-release, given what's in it. In the end, that's my reasons why I think you'd like Ratchet Deadlock. So, go on. Get out of here. Go play it. PS3 or PS2 or stream it, I don't know. I don't care. Just play it. Play the game. Do that. For me. for your buddy, for your friend. Thanks for watching.
Kids across the galaxy know that wearing the right pajamas can give you superpowers.
I'm Gamatron. My eyes shoot laser beams. I'm Reactor. I can eat metal.
I'm Battlehawk. I can fly.
Oh, I love that part.